So in this one, we got the many victims of Dr. Umar. You want to know what's crazy about that? I don't even think most of them still to this day don't realize that they're victims. Damn shame. Let's get into the video.
Dr. Umar has had his fair share of controversies since establishing himself as the Prince of Pan-Africanism, a movement known for addressing issues in the Black community and promising change through education.
Black queens forever, snow bunnies never. I said black queens forever, snow bunnies never. I said black queens forever, snow bunnies never.
I'm still convinced he got a whole stable of snow bunnies. We're going to find out one day he been eating the sandwiches with the mayonnaise on it, bro. I'm telling you, watch.
It is consciousness over the cookies. It is politics before the punani.
But what started as an inspiration to Black people has quickly evolved into one of the most polarizing and problematic phenomena on social media.
It only takes a little bit of white brainwash to activate the coon chip in the average Negro.
While Dr. Umar's wild views have resonated with thousands of people, it doesn't make up for the years of shady fundraising, attacks on anyone who dared to question his methods, and perhaps most troubling of all, failed promises.
Imagine a school where children don't have to be suspended. Imagine a school where your child never gets expelled. Imagine a school where your child never gets misdiagnosed and put in special education.
Yeah, and the problem with this whole school thing, too, is that he's had more than enough time to get something up and running. And not just time. All right, time is one thing. Money. And we know this because we did the video about him having issues with the property, owing the city, everything, right? And so we know he's gotten way more than enough money to have something going. And that's the thing about this. When you're serious about something like this, you don't wait for everything to be perfect. As long as you got the permits and things like that that you need, you start, man, and then you build. You just build. You might not start off as big as you want to be, but you start off with something. Let people see that you got things going. You'll get more funds that way. Like, wouldn't it make more sense to have a school where maybe you got one classroom, two classrooms, but you got something going? What do you think going to motivate people to give more? That or going years and years and years of nothing? Nobody's going to keep giving to that, man. I mean, you might get a few people, but eventually it'll wise up.
Imagine a school where you don't have to worry about the teachers trying to force you to put your son or daughter on dangerous psychiatric medication.
In fact, Dr. Umar has stirred up so much commotion that it even resulted in him being investigated, churned into memes, and literally having entire blogs dedicated to exposing his fraudulent behavior. The entire story started all the way back in 2013, when St. Paul's College was on the verge of shutting down after decades of serving Black students and producing legends like NFL quarterback Darryl Green. Dr. Umar, who had built a reputation for fighting for Black education, saw this as the perfect chance to take his legacy even further. But this is where things get interesting, because instead of helping to keep the school alive, he offered to buy the entire property and transform it into his own vision.
Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, I am happy and elated to report to you today that we have found the location for the very first FDMG Academy, the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG International Leadership Academy for Pan-African Excellence.
After negotiating with the school authorities, they offered to sell the college for $3 million, with a down payment of $150,000 to seal the deal. However, Dr. Umar didn't have that kind of money sitting around. And with just a few months to raise the funds, he was forced to try a strategy that marked the beginning of a complete change in his career moving forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, community stakeholders of the African race, I implore you, I beg you, I summon you, and I petition you to donate to this cause. Donate to this fundraiser. Let us show the world that we care enough about our children and enough about our history and enough about our ancestors to keep St. Paul's College in the hands of the African American community and in the hands of Dr. Umar Johnson and in the interests of African children.
Before this time, Dr. Umar was known for speaking about issues Black children face in the American school system. He even had entire books written on these issues, which also detailed what Black parents can do to handle some of these challenges. But it never seemed like it was about personal advancement before. Instead, he seemed like he was genuinely moving out of the passion he had for his community. But as he began building his new school, we would begin to see a whole different side of Dr. Umar. In the next 30 days, nearly $150,000 was raised, which was a good start for his vision. But after 6 months, Doc made it clear how he felt about the donation so far.
So far, we raised $250,000. I know y'all got a lot more to give me than some $250,000. When Darren Wilson killed Michael Brown, white folks gave him $300,000 in 3 weeks for his defense. And Dr. Umar Johnson is trying to build a state-of-the-art school for black boys that y'all all know I need. And after 6 months, I only got $250,000. Trifling ass black people.
Well, that's
Damn. Well, I never seen that clip. Wow. Wow, man. That's how you ask for money, brother? That's how you ask for money. I mean, honestly, it was you that took up this cause. I mean, you know, it's your job to convince the people. Wow. I never seen that clip before. That's crazy, man. I think again, the issue is you don't see any manifestation of anything progressing. And if the issue is money and donations, he should say that. But the problem is when you look at his taxes and his returns and all of that stuff, there's a lot of discrepancies and a lot of questions, man. A lot of questions. So I don't know if Umar ever, when he started off on this, if his intentions was to build this school, but maybe somewhere along the lines he got off the rails. And I don't think he's intending on making this thing happen at all, man, at all. But that right there is crazy. I don't know how you berate people that you're trying to get to donate to your cause.
Seemed like a simple joke at the time. It gave people a glimpse into how he assessed situations around him. To him, his vision was worth a lot more than $250,000 in 6 months.
But y'all sure call me up when the school's messing with your son. Did you make a donation to my school? Oh, not yet. Bye. Click. That's the new Umar. You want some help with your son? Did I get a donation? No, I want to hear that. Mail the donation, then you call me back, and then I'll help you with your son. But you're not going to use me to fight white folks when your son shouldn't even have to put up with them in the first place.
Over the next decade, he appeared on countless podcasts and TV shows, promoting the project and raising more funds. While no one knows exactly how much he's racked up, reports suggest it's grown into a substantial sum.
Hey, I want to point out something too. That's a real manipulative tactic, especially by a con artist. What he just did right there with the trying to guilt people into giving. Oh, your son's in trouble? Don't call me. Did you donate to the school? That right there. Now look, in a lot of cases with a lot of people, something like that could make sense. If you want help from a certain cause or a certain thing, but you don't want to actually give to it and support it in any way. I can see people saying, hey, can you at least give something to support? Not going about it that way though. But when it comes to con artists, though, this is one of their tactics, to guilt you into giving. That might go right past a lot of people, but that right there just reiterates for me that this dude's a con artist, man. He's a con artist, and he's trying to guilt people. He's been trying to guilt people into giving to something that honestly he's never intended on building.
Yet, despite years of fundraising, updates on the school's progress have been few and far between. All we've seen is a video of him hinting at the HVAC system for the school, and another video from 2024, where they seem to be painting the school.
We having an HVAC party today. We having an HVAC party today, brothers and sisters. I said we having an HVAC party. HVAC. Do you know what an HVAC party is? Heating, ventilation, air conditioning. Oh yes, brothers and sisters.
I want to say thank you to all you who came out this past weekend and helped us out. We had a beautiful time Saturday and Sunday getting the school ready for our young men.
It's obvious that this isn't enough to justify the millions of dollars donated by average black citizens. What's even more weird was that every time Dr. Umar was asked about the progress, he would completely go off the rails in a way that seemed very defensive.
What did you do with the money? That is the silliest question I've ever been asked. What did you do with the money? Well, I think you can see what I did with the money. We got 4 buildings. I think you can see what I did with the money.
And then he would go on to demand for more.
In the meantime, you need to hit the Cash App, $FDMG school. We're getting close to the finish line.
But after a while, most people started to see through the smokescreen and began.
Let me ask you this too. If he really intended or intends on making this a reality, why are the only donations you seeking? And I'm not saying this is the only, maybe there's some other things I ain't got going on, but you would think for a project of this scale, a project that requires a lot of money, something like this does take a lot of funds to make happen, to bring to fruition, right? that you would target, everyday people, but knowing that that's really the hard way to do it, you would think that you would target much more able to do donors. All right, let's just be honest. You're looking for some rich people. You're looking for some, maybe even a corporation or who knows, right? Or some athlete, somebody. But I think the issue is those type of people, if you don't do what you say you're going to do, that's going to lead to legal ramifications ASAP, right? And so I think that's one of the reasons why he preys on the average person and talk about hit up the Cash App and this, that, and the other, because it's easier to get away with than, let's just say, if he got a corporation to invest, or if he got some rich guy or woman to invest or something like that, or maybe even other organizations to back him. And I can also understand not wanting to be in a position where you give anybody the ability to have any say so or any control, but that might be a thing too. If you really want to get it done, that might be a thing. You just might have to work that out. But also it leaves you in a position where they're going to hold you accountable. And if you ain't getting the shit done, there's going to be ramifications. I think that's one of the reasons why he's always preying on just your everyday person, man, talking about hit up the Cash App and shit.
Asking serious questions. Did he ever use that donation money to build that school? Meanwhile, some of his dedicated followers still had hopes that the school was still being developed, as they kept believing his promises.
The school will then be opened for the fall of 2021?
No, sir. We're looking to open up the school the fall of 2022. If we are fortunate enough to conclude renovations on the Marcus Garvey building and Nat Turner Gymnasium this summer, we look to open up the school next summer. So that would give us 12 months of leeway to comfortably make sure we have everything in place to receive our young men, not this coming fall, but the following fall of 2022.
But the rest of the Black community believed that he was a complete fraud, scam artist. However, on the 26th of July, 2025, things would take the most unexpected turn.
This morning, I received a text message from one of my homies. He needed Dr. Umar to send him a couple dollars. I logged into my account just to check my balance because I haven't done so since I left for South Africa back on July 10th, only to discover that I could not log into my account.
And if you think that was bad, just wait, because it gets even crazier.
So then I called the bank, and the bank told me that my personal account, as well as the independent Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy account, have both been frozen. And I was told that there is an investigation into my personal account as well as the school account. I asked them, was this due to suspicion of any fraud on my part? I was told that it was not due to suspicion of any fraud on my part.
Why would you ask that though? Why would you ask that though if you had a clear conscience? That thought wouldn't even come in your mind, really. If you knew everything was on the up and up, you'd be like, shit, what's going on, right? Is there anything going on? I need to not. It's got something to do with me. Any fraud on my part? Like, sound like a guilty conscience, man.
But I was told that it was due to suspicion of fraudulent activity.
While this might not be entirely impossible, given the recent suspicions surrounding the academy he claimed to be building, it ultimately came across as nothing but an excuse. Because how do you explain calling a bank concerning your frozen account, and the first question you're asking is to know whether it was locked due to fraudulent activities on your part?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty sus. And instead of providing evidence of his interaction with the bank to at least make his story more believable, Dr. Umar would double down.
So the Prince of Pan-Africanism, for the first time in my life, is without any digital currency. For my loyal supporters, if you can spare a few dollars so I can take care of Queen Mother Ifa Tunde and myself until my bank account is frozen or canceled so I can get my money back and open up a new account, please hit my Apple Pay or hit my PayPal.
Asking for more donations in the midst of all this controversy was
crazy.
Completely insane. But
Bold,
to play
too.
devil's advocate, the doc did claim that the fraud attempt on the accounts could possibly be related to his ex-girlfriend Medea, who exposed him for being broke, or a random man known as Pastor Boosie.
I believe Medea and Pastor Bussy were fraudulently trying to get into my account. And if we find out that's the case, they will be sued and possibly arrested because...
No, they don't lock you out of your own accounts for something like that, though, necessarily. Their banks got ways of doing that, and you can verify. But worst case scenario, you can go to the location. They'll make ways for you. They're not going to like tell you don't have any access to your funds. even if you got to do it a certain way until they figure out what's going on, which is going into one of the bank locations or something. But no.
Fraudulent activity on a bank account is a federal offense.
But immediately, people thought it might just be a ruse to cover up something even darker.
It seems like Dr. Umar is trying to set up for him to say, yo, they stole the money, bro.
This becomes so much worse when we consider the fact that he ran online to talk about it instead of handling it in private.
Trust me, Dr. Umar, somebody charged $18,000 on my credit card like a couple months ago. I didn't go online and go tell everybody about it. I called my bank, I filed a dispute, they handled it, and then within 60 days, actually they credited me back like immediately. But in 60 days, they sent me a letter and they said, motherfucker, yes, niggas tried it, but they didn't win. You got your money back. No harm, no foul. Dr. Umar, why are you online telling people you broke and you need come on, Dr. Umar? Dr. Umar, bro.
At this point, people were convinced that he might be pulling some serious BS and could be heading behind bars. Dr. Umar's scamming ass is going to prison. As the real truth about the progress of the school remains a mystery, it wouldn't be a stretch to label the thousands of donors as victims of Dr. Umar's web of confusion. But while we're on the topic of his victims, I think it's important to go through a few of many individuals who've caught the brunt of his antics in the past years, starting with the man who is no longer here to tell his side of the story. During an Instagram live in May 2021, Dr. Umar seemingly took shots at the now deceased relationship expert, Kevin Samuels.
YouTube life coaches who are trying to build a platform by making black women feel bad. I don't like it. I can't appreciate black men trying to make $1 off of making black women feel bad.
Although the black activists never directly called out Kevin Samuels, it wasn't long before Kevin issued an indirect response where he mocked Dr. Umar.
Talk to us more like Umar.
The Prince of Pan-African. Big Papa's in the house. Run my donations.
I mean, shout out to Umar. I ain't got no problem with the dude, but I think it's funny y'all keep coming over here asking everybody to talk like Umar.
Queen Mother God and Cocoa Butter and...
Even after getting trolled, Dr. Umar stood his ground, insisting that he wasn't referring to Kevin specifically, further dismissing him as flat out dumb.
Comments were not particularly directed to that gentleman. I make it a point, when at all possible, to not respond to individuals whose intellectual competence I consider to be far below my own.
After this, Kevin Samuels was seen to back down in an interview with DJ Vlad, stating that he had no problem with Dr. Umar.
So I guess that probably got shown to him and taken out of context. I can see how it kind of been insulting. And my point of making that reference was not to say he's a bad person.
Yet, while Dr. Umar's beefs with Samuels was relatively mild, one person he's never held back from attacking at every opportunity is the former president of the United States, Barack Obama. Over the years, Dr. Umar has made it his personal mission to call out the former president, often being completely disrespectful.
Barack Obama was a flunky, he was a functionary, he was a stool pigeon, and he was a puppet, and yes, he was a coon.
However, his attacks weren't limited to bare name-calling, as he would repeatedly portray Obama as the architect of what we know today as the woke agenda, particularly when it comes to the LGBTQ issues in the black community.
One of the reasons Barack Obama was made president is so he could normalize the LGBTQ agenda in the black community. Think about it. If George Bush tried to push homosexuality in the black community, we would have rejected him.
Of course.
If Donald Trump tried to push homosexuality in the black community, we would have rejected him.
Of course.
You could only normalize that through a blackface.
Well, this isn't...
I'm not sure if that's the reason he was put in the office, but I mean, he definitely was a staunch proponent of it. I don't know if that was by design or not. A lot of people have felt that way, though. A lot of people have felt that way. I'm not sure there's necessarily a conspiracy aspect or a conspiracy component to it. I don't know, man. I think he was just liberal in that way. There's a lot of things about Obama I don't agree with. A lot of things he did, I definitely don't agree with. But to say like he was put there for that reason, I don't know if he was put there for that reason. I just think that's part of his politics, part of his belief system, honestly.
Exactly true. It was enough for people to start regurgitating it on the internet. Dr. Umar would even go further by calling Barack Obama a horrible role model for black children. His attacks came across as an attempt to discredit a man who rose to the highest office and served his country for 8 solid years. This habit of constantly talking down on the achievements of people is something he's been doing for years, and no one has been able to escape it, including one of the greatest rappers of all time in Slim Shady himself. During a Breakfast Club interview, Dr. Umar was clear about his feelings regarding the white rapper's success, stating that all of his achievements and respect in the game were as a result of his race, as opposed to skill or hard work.
Eminem,
Yes.
Can't be the GOAT because he's white, is what you
Eminem
said.
cannot be the GOAT because he's white. First of all, my perspective on this issue is not about Eminem. I got to make this clear.
According to Dr. Umar, rap is part of Black culture. So considering a white person to be the best in that field automatically means supporting white supremacy. And this belief extends far beyond the rap industry.
No,
I don't go that far. Now, Eminem definitely ain't the GOAT. He's the GOAT to some people, but I'm not saying that because he's white either. I just don't think he's the GOAT. Has nothing to do with him being white or black. When it comes to rap and hip hop, though, if your skill puts you in that area of being the GOAT, you're the GOAT. I don't care if you white, black, or purple. But Eminem definitely ain't the GOAT, though. I know a lot of y'all about to get mad at me in the comments, but I'm sorry, man. He ain't the GOAT, man.
No non-African can ever be the best of anything African. It is an insult to the ancestors, it is an insult to the race, and it is an insult to every Black person.
On the surface, it seems like he's simply defending Black people and their interests. But when it comes down to taking care of his own Black family, the story isn't quite the same. Throughout his career, Dr. Umar has had children with multiple baby mamas. Despite being someone whose entire brand is built on Black people being more responsible, especially with their families, you'd expect a public figure with this rep to at least keep his family close. But we learned from his daughter, Dr. Umar is often nowhere to be found.
My biological father is Dr. Umar. I'm 22 years old now. My dad has never been to anything important, no graduation, no birthday parties, nothing. He has not been in my life. You can't get on Instagram and get on social media and portray to be an activist and talk about how Black kings need to be with Black women, but you're not even in your Black woman's daughter's life.
Being absent from his own daughter's life spits in the face of everything Dr. Umar stands for. And he got a lot of people calling him a deadbeat and a hypocrite. He hasn't denied that this is his daughter. He knows who she is and her mother. It's giving deadbeat. Deadbeat is a deadbeat.
Yeah, I never knew this part either. I wonder, has he ever tried, man? And has she been responsive to that? That would be another notch on the grifter / con man belt, right? Just telling people a bunch of shit they want to hear, not really being about it yourself. If this is true.
Dr. Umar, you being an absent father to a Black child is our business. Because of all the controversy after this video was released, Dr. Umar would put out a response video arguing that things weren't as they seemed.
There's a lot of slander going on. There's a lot of lies being pushed out there. There's people trying to use my name to build themselves up. Been paying child support since you damn near came out the womb. Deadbeat who?
All right, no, see, he's using con man verbiage, so he didn't deny us his daughter. Said he's been paying child support. He's not addressing whether or not he's trying to be in her life or not. She was speaking to him being in her life or attempting to be. Brother, paying child support ain't being a father, man. That's not. No. We ain't gonna just gloss over that one.
Trying to use my name to build themselves up. Been paying child support since you damn near came out the womb. Deadbeat who? When can we have a sit down? Child support started, you wasn't even out your mama yet, and she took me to child support. Deadbeat who?
After completely dismantling his own daughter online, he would go on to invite her for a proper conversation.
Trying to build your struggle streamer career off of my back, coming up out of nowhere, acting like you've been looking for me. Get Mama Smurf. When can the three of us have a sit down? I'm ready for this.
Dr. Umar might not be a deadbeat father, but simply providing for his daughter without being in her life just wasn't enough for people to back off.
I don't think and don't get me wrong, people can do anything, but if you were really attempting to be in her life, I don't see her coming out saying you weren't trying to be in her life. If you were trying to make that a thing, I'm not saying it wouldn't happen. People can do all types of shit. I don't know, but he didn't address that really. He really didn't address that. He didn't say like, yeah, no, I've been trying. I've been trying. You can tell your mom I did this, that, and the other. I've been calling. I don't know, man. He just trying to make it like, oh, because I pay child support, I'm not a deadbeat. But they take child support out your check regardless, bro. It's not really a flex to say, oh, I paid child support when they'll take it out of your fucking check.
Forcing the 50-year-old to threaten anyone who gets in his way.
I strongly recommend you mind your business, because if you don't, you will be blocked and put in the book of Negroes. As you see on my social media, I've been blocking people who think my business is their business.
A clearly hypocritical statement for a man who always seems to be in everybody's business, especially when it comes to viral black celebrities. He's no stranger to throwing shade at everything they do, including who they date, how they spend their money, and how they spend their time.
I'm so tired of black celebrities talking about how many kids they paid for to go to college, how many kids you paid for to go to college. All you're doing is pumping money back into the white power structure. When is the black celebrity going to start funding the black community?
And he would go on to call out specific names in the entertainment industry as if they weren't doing enough with their immense wealth.
Oprah, Beyonce, Tyler Perry, and Jay-Z, you are the Mount Rushmore of black celebrities right now today. I need you four to come together and give us a hospital, a bank, and a chain of supermarkets. I'm gonna say it again. Give us a hospital, a bank, a chain of supermarkets, and
That's all good and well, but can we get the school you promised, man? See, this is the problem. You gotta at least get some accomplishments under your belt. Get some notches under your belt so that you can have something to point to and say, look, I actually said and did that. Right? So where y'all at? I feel like if you ain't got nothing to point to that you actually accomplished, that you actually built, at some point, man, your talk is just talk. It's just empty.
I need you to fund the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy.
Calling out celebrities for not funding the black community while constantly asking for donations himself is completely absurd. However, the supposed black activist wasn't done with his antics, as he would go further to clown prominent figures in the black community for being involved in interracial relationships, including none other than Shannon Sharpe, who was reportedly facing a lawsuit over his involvement with a white woman.
With a bunch of rich Negroes like the Shannon Sharps and Charles Barkleys and Tiger Woods and this UFC fighter, they're going up there to lease the bunny, and they sign the contract, but they don't read the contract.
Tagging a simple interracial relationship as a contract is wild, but assuming that every single white woman wants to run away with your wealth is even crazier.
Black men don't date white women. They rent and lease them. And when the snow bunny is done being rented or leased, she takes half of your assets with her. We're talking about snow bunnies using gullible, goofy ass black men as economic stimulus packages.
He would even go to the extent of giving Bronny James an ultimatum in order to earn his support.
Bronny James, drop the bunny and get you some chocolate honey. I can't cheer for you, my brother, if you're going against the black woman by dating and mating outside the community.
The pattern of calling out black men for their dating choices has quickly become something he can't ignore, even when he's on your side.
They snow bunnied our brother Jonathan Majors. Those of you who know me know I absolutely do not condone bunny hopping. Black men have no business dating outside the race. Absolutely not. But be that as it may, an attack on one black man is an attack on all black men.
Right now, the situation with Dr. Umar has the entire community divided. Do we keep listening or donating? Or do we turn away from the man who's been giving excuses since 2013?
We're going to rekey them classroom doors. We're going to lay this tile down, and we're going to apply for the certificate of occupancy. Do anybody got a problem with what I just said? I'm only talking to my supporters and donors. If you're not a supporter or a donor, hop off the live. The accounts are still frozen. We're looking into it. The accounts are still frozen, brothers and sisters. We're supposed to hear back Friday. That sounds like Monday to me.
Whether you see him as a voice of black empowerment or a controversial grifter, it's important to remember who has been most affected by this saga, because ultimately, the real victims of this controversial figure are simply everyday people who believed in Dr. Umar's vision. The family.
Yeah, no, that's kind of what I was thinking too. It ain't no Obama or nothing like that. It's the people who he has been taking advantage of. And it's a shame, man, because he's talking all this empowerment and all of that and acting like he's, putting the black woman on this pedestal, when in reality, he's doing more damage than the people he claims is doing the damage.
Who scrape together donations, hoping to contribute something that would benefit black children, and their commitment to black education deserves recognition.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
Hey, man, look. If Umar ever built that damn school and it comes, and it open up his doors and kids walk in, I'd be the first one to say, cool. But golly, bro, what? 20, almost 15 years in, and you ain't had one classroom. Listen, if it was me, we just need one classroom going right now. We need to show some proof of concept, get people energized, and go from there. And it'll build, man. People will come. And I would be looking for donors who can actually put up the type of money that we need to get this shit done now. He ain't doing none of that because he ain't trying to open up no school. And it's just period, point blank. The man's a hypocrite. And the biggest victims of him, it ain't the people Kevin Samuels, Barack Obama, it ain't none of them. It's the people he's grifting off of, the people who donated to his cause because they believed in it. And they're not getting nothing out of it. They're getting absolutely nothing out of it. And it looks like he spent a good portion of it on himself. It's a damn shame. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section below. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.